Right now, the situation with Czapek is the situation of many watchmakers and many actually manufacturers in the world, which is to have a shortage of supply and to be running after that shortage of supply. We are the last, our customers are the last drop of the cascade, the lake that receives the water of the cascade. And we are just before, but before us there is the case maker, and before the case maker there is the crown maker, the glass maker. And so you see that by going backward this way, you have a huge risk of delay. The challenge with the current shortage of supply that is happening worldwide is that the first supplying partner is going to be deciding of the flow rate. So if suddenly the supplying partner is missing one component and is not delivering the next supplying partner, then the next supplying partner is delivering 0 to the following one. And when it arrives to you, you only have your eyes to cry, That's it. And if you go after your supplying partner as being, the first link in the chain, there is nothing he can do, He couldn't do more of what he's doing because he's depending on delivery of steel, delivery of crowns, delivery of specific components, time machine available, all these things, So it makes a very complex situation. It's a total domino effect. The big difficulty is that for us, it's nearly impossible to have a date. And our clients, they need to have a date. And they call us and say, give me a date. I want a date. When will I be delivered? And you don't know what to answer because you don't have a precise answer from your partner, your supplying partner. And why? Because he does not have a precise answer from his supplying partner, who does not have a precise answer from the other supplying partner. So supply chain becomes suddenly completely disorganized. And this is what is making the difficulty of that moment. And that's why we need to change the way we source our components. We need to increase the number of components that we get manufactured for us to be able to cope with this incredible wave effect. So to deal with that, we are going to increase our inventory, especially on the Antarctique, and then we will have suddenly the coolness, the calm that is necessary to produce well and fast at a very high level, the calibers. We're driving toward La Chaux-de-Fonds to visit some supplying partners. The Stairway to Eternity is a very peculiar design. It's made of trapeze that are touching each other like that, making waves or stairways. And that was the birth of that name, remembering the waves of the Passage de Drake and at the same time building the stairs of a Stairway to Eternity. So one way to make dial is to do dial stamping. And the principle of dial stamping is to use machines that have 180 tons of pressure to stamp a dial made of brass or steel. Here we are going to be discovering this way to make dials at Gravage in La Chaux-de-Fonds. Gravage is a company that is owned by Metalem, but that is usually dealing with other dial makers and Metalem. It's never dealing with a direct end brand. We are the only ones who are actually directly with them making our stamps, our tooling, And this gives us a better quality because we go to the end detail and we work hand in hand with Metalem. And they understood that it was not an idea of bypassing them. It was an idea of keeping our independence of thinking and getting to the detail, understanding, how each guy was working to make a better design. And from a better design, a better watch. Chrono is our long-term friend. They are the co-father of the XXH1 and 2. And we've been working on creating the new version of the XXH1. And then we've been working on that fantastic chronograph rattrapante, the split second, that is called Antarctique rattrapante. Now on the Antarctique rattrapante, which is their first split second chronograph, there was a lot of work to be done to tune the watch when it was being finally set. And they were achieving it, but sometimes they were struggling for hours. And they have been rethinking the way the watch was made, and they have been seeing some improvement that they could be doing. So these improvements are much more to ease the process of assembling the watch. Ok.
On va te montrer, Xavier, où on a travaillé sur la rattrapante pour apporter des améliorations pour la production de la série. Donc on est vraiment au niveau du cœur du mouvement, au niveau de la rattrapante. C'est ça qui nous a posé le plus de challenge, c'est de maîtriser et d'optimiser les pivotements autour de la rattrapante. Ici, on a vraiment un pivotement très très sensible entre l'axe de chrono et le tube de rattrapante qui doit être vraiment optimum. Et après plusieurs analyses, on a vu que là, on pouvait apporter encore des améliorations. Donc on a apporté des améliorations de construction pour optimiser encore une fois ce pivotement.
Et donc, quand on fait la remise à zéro, le cœur va se remettre droit. Et c'est le fait que ce levier est une forme très particulière qui fait que la rattrapante va pouvoir revenir à la position de la seconde.
Exactement,
et en fait, c'est le retour à cette position qui est l'élément le plus complexe de la rattrapante.
Ouais. On doit avoir vraiment le moins de frottement possible.
Très bien.
Très précis à ce niveau-là.
And the thing that is a bit strange when you have a company going from startup to growth, or to scale up, from startup to scale up. Because you have to sort of break your whole company and rebuild it, okay? And when you build it again, you have to build it differently. What happens is that when you suddenly scale up, it's not only you that is scaling up. You are pulling behind you your supplying partners, because they have to scale up too. And they are sometimes not ready for that. And the natural way to react is to do more of the same. And when you really want to grow, you need to do something else or something different. You need to rethink the whole process of doing things, the whole organization. So this is what happened for the machining and milling and production of our cases. We have to release the pressure on one point and distribute the work and reorganize the work with additional partners, because the current partner network is capable to a certain limit and we don't want to lose them. We don't want to go into a crisis with any of them. So the solution was to find another company for case making that would be able to cope with the incredible increase that there is with Antarctique. Now, of course, having a new partner is going to be a moment of shake with the current partners. But we have no choice. And after the moment of stress of the beginning, they will suddenly realize that they are much better off not having the problem of dealing with that incredible increase on one model and leaving that to someone who is just taking that burden in their backpack. A bright future sometimes comes with a humble start. So you see that place? Well, there is a lot of work still to be done, but that's the future of Czapek. We'll take all this tube away, and here inside that square, there will be hosted our first CNC machine. And this is the future. Why? Because it's going to help us be capable to cope with the demand, be capable to address special needs, be capable to go much faster in prototyping. That's also a move toward autonomy, a move toward the capacity to look to the future. And it will look beautiful, but you have to make an effort of imagining what it will be later. Now we are in Madrid. This is the last trip of the year. This is November 30. This is, I would say, the normal life of a running CEO who goes from one place to another to spread the word about the collections that have been created and to meet the people, to understand what's happening in the market.